Zendaya's acting in the movie Challengers, directed by Luca Guadagnino, is stylized by nuance, desire, intensity, manipulation, and mystery. She plays the main character Tashi, a cold and calculated former tennis player whose dream got taken away due to injury. And in the story, she sets out to keep pursuing this relentless obsession of the sport through her love triangle with the two best friends, Art and Patrick. Hi, I'm Ekate. I'm an actor, and thanks for joining me today. I love film, I love art, and I especially love acting. I will be doing an acting analysis from 3 key scenes in the movie. I will be doing my breakdown from a fresh lens, as though I've not watched the movie at all. I'm here to teach you all about the complex craft of acting, help audiences understand the ins and outs of the art form, and hopefully make it more accessible. And I do this because I'm a bored creative, I guess, and I love what I do. Okay, let's go. My focuses and internal checklists that I am using to analyze, which are some of the basic fundamentals of acting, are the actor's voice, facial expressions, physicality and body, reaction and responsiveness to the other characters emotionally or physically, overall believability, which I'm measuring by checking how well the actor has obeyed the given circumstances, i.e., how real do they make the quote-unquote imaginary world seem using every tool above and their own. Does the actor listen well? And is the actor present in the moment? The actor stops at the door and she's smiling in a very coy way, signifying her mischief. When in the room, sitting on the floor with the boys, she's holding her knees to her chest and still smiling and joking around with the boys to lighten the mood and to portray awkwardness in the situation, since she still doesn't know them and technically they are strangers. Ultimately, she's trying to establish comfort and familiarity with them using giggles and seeming awkward. That's really cute, she says. She's listening and following along with the situation. She's trying to assimilate herself into an already established relationship. I see she's showing a lot of chill girl vibes here as she speaks in a monotone, low voice as well.
You ever thought about doing something like that?
Boarding school? No, we couldn't afford it. And even if I could get a scholarship or something, there's no way that my parents would want me coming of age in an environment like that.
Even with the awkward, reserved way her body is placed while speaking, then she bites her lips slightly, which signifies how flirtatious she actually is. But her whole point right now is to not give them exactly what they want. She's still being playful. The mood then shifts once she begins to take the reins. We see this as she grabs Art's drink from his hand and then asks them about their romantic relationships. She has seemingly become more comfortable now in the situation and is exhibiting her dominant side. Her body positioning shifts when this discussion goes further, and now the actor is really looking the boys in the eyes. She properly faces them as well. With her body, she shows intrigue in this topic. She's seeing an in, realizing that she can infiltrate the friend's relationship sexually as well. Also notice how she's placed herself in the middle of them both and seeks their full attention with her eyes, looking back and forth between them. She has them truly engaged, almost under her spell. She has centered herself, quite literally. A foreshadowing of basically how the story unfolds throughout. Later in the scene, we see her stand up while they stay seated, and she assumes a power position with hands on hips. They await her instructions. She takes a beat, looks around a little bit. In this way, the other characters get to wonder what it is she's plotting. Once she seats herself on the bed, it tells the other characters that she doesn't care and she is comfortable in their space. She has essentially grabbed the energy in the room, and it's hers now. It's her stage. She's the director. She's in charge of them. She's in charge of the space and everything that comes after. And the boys allow her to do this in their desperation to appease her. So far, she has kept the mood and the space very tense. The boys don't know what she is and what she's capable of. She's a sort of enigma. And this theme unfolds consistently throughout the whole story. Lastly, we see the famous Kubrick stare. It's a fantastic way to highlight what kind of character we're actually dealing with. It's a technique used to portray that the character is mentally unstable, intense, or deranged. The choice the actor made here is perfect for foreshadowing and signaling not only to the audience what's to come, but also to the other characters. This should have alarmed the two boys, but they're so enamored by her beauty and intensity that they fall in line without question. She triggers your impulsivity with a simple stare. That's a dangerous person. For this particular scene, we see a shift in power from her to the character of Patrick. She starts off strong, using her body to move around the space, while the other character stays seated on the bed. She makes all attempts to show annoyance in her facial expressions, but still holding back a little bit, because she realizes she is being challenged. This is new territory for her. She seems to have always gotten what she wants out of any situation or interaction, but now Patrick questions and challenges her, meeting her at her level. Her face is what shows us she's displeased and possibly a bit nervous. This uneasiness is being expressed when she makes the choice to pull away from the bed and do yoga instead. She's trying her best to distract herself and him from her true inner feelings, and to navigate internally how to reestablish the loss in dominance over him. Eventually, we see the other character meet her on the floor and in her face, which tells her and us that he's not afraid of her anymore. She almost for a split second cowers when she hunches over and hides her face and touches her hair, but she quickly tries to recover. But throughout this, he does not back away from her personal space, and she can handle the challenge. She also makes a point to not look him directly in the eyes, unlike in the scene before, where she could directly face both characters with her body and face. Here, we see her getting into a dismissive position and shrinking herself. The tides shift for her when he says, "I'm not art," explaining to her that he won't submit to her and shrink to her like his friend has. Here, the actor truly looks at the other character in the eyes. She's positioning herself as unbothered with her body language, the hunched shoulders, the bored facial expression, to express how laid back she's trying to be in response to this information. Tashi has been found out. She's been caught. And obviously, as an actor, one has to find a way to navigate showing the audience the internal emotions that might arise. She even leans away from Patrick's face as he tries to get into her personal space again. Again, this is to emphasize to him that she is unbothered by his realization. The realization that makes her look bad. We officially see how she's lost her power over him. He stands up from the floor before her, and she looks up at him. And she stands to meet him where he's at, and goes face to face at him. As a last-ditch effort to maybe instill in him that she is still the boss, and he cannot step up to her in that way. She almost feels disrespected by his show of force. You can see the disgust in the actor's face as he says to her, "I'm your peer." In a split second, we might even spot fear in her eyes when he says this to her, and she agrees and says, "All right." Could it be fear? Could it be she is internally pleading to not be discarded like this as well? Either way, she is in disbelief that her manipulation didn't work as well as she thought. She is a woman obsessed with obsession. Now she stands alone, disheveled, confused, sad, angry, vindictive, ashamed, but always plotting. Peep her eyes, swiftly looking to the side, and the actor tensing her jaw at the end. I've chosen the climax of the film as my last scene because there's no speaking. The body and face is what speaks the loudest to us as the audience. The scene is comprised only of the actor's movements, facial expressiveness, and the amazing score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. When we first see her, she is surrounded by the other background actors in the scene. She takes a deep breath and exhales while looking at the boys play against each other. She shows nerves or uneasiness when she crosses her arms, but also her face seems upset and unsure. I assume, for the first time, she's unsure of what's to come between her on-screen counterparts, i.e., the two boys. The theme of power is sort of up in the air at this point, and it's unclear to us watching who is in control of it. And I think the actor doesn't know either, that's why the moment seems so tense. This time around, when the actor chooses to bite her lip, it's not to show desire towards anyone or to be flirtatious or cunning in any way. It seems it is because of how unsure and uneasy she is feeling internally. She even furrows her brows, frowns, and swallows to emphasize this feeling for us. As an aside, it's very interesting to also note that at some point here at the beginning of the scene, the motif of her being centered between the two is shown to us again in the editing. We are getting the true sense of how intense this three-way relationship between them is, either through love or desire, friendship, or the sport. But ultimately, it all comes down to obsession, and I guess we're going to be told exactly what kind of obsession each of the characters has as the scene goes on. The moment where it seems like the two characters are about to finally play well, she starts off worried. Then we see Patrick signaling to Art with his bat, or it's a foreshadowing of the actual signal, which almost confuses her because it's a private moment between the two boys that she is unfamiliar with. And then Patrick looks her dead in the eyes, and she tilts her head, almost asking him quietly, "What are you doing? What is this? I am confused." She briefly raises her brow towards Patrick, maybe to show that she's not bothered. And the true signal is shown when Patrick places his ball on the throat of the racket. Patrick smiles at Art when he does this, and Art looks flabbergasted because this tells him something, a secret that he didn't know. And I assume it upsets him. Watching this exchange between the two, we see the actor looking back and forth in further confusion because she does not know what is happening and why there's internal conflict or emotional tension between the boys. For the first time in the scene, Art really looks at Tashi in the eyes, looks back at Patrick, and the information that he pieces together internally with Patrick's confirmation when Patrick smugly smiles and laughs makes him say out loud, "Fuck off." And now we see the actor get visibly, physically uncomfortable. She can tell that something big has been aired out that makes her look bad, and she didn't anticipate that she wouldn't be in control of this moment. She shifts and moves around in her seat, briefly standing up and sitting down again, trying to recollect herself. She even sits legs crossed at one point, fidgeting with her hands and rubbing her other arm, almost to soothe her angst. Now, when the climax hits in the final 2 minutes of this scene, the boys smile at each other, signifying that they are going to play now. properly experience each other through the game. Everything is very fast-paced and energetic and tense. The actor is back in shot, visibly engaged and curious. She is enthralled by this moment between her counterparts. Her hands are placed on her knees as her head shifts back and forth in silence between the boys. And for the first time here, she almost takes a sigh of relief and is smiling slightly as she observes what's taking place. She's on the edge of her seat, quite literally. This is the first time her face is relaxed, mouth open even. We can tell she's in love and experiencing a hypnotic nirvana state. I don't think towards the two characters necessarily, but towards what it is they're doing with each other. As the match comes to a close, she slowly stands up, visibly tensed in her body. When Art wins, she lets out a yell. She laughs, claps, and sheds tears of absolute pleasure and joy.